understand that actions have consequences?
I certainly do.
Then you'll understand this.
Can't believe it.
Somehow, it is episode 9 of 9.
Of One Giant Leap. I'm Ian. This is the Story Together crew. We've been working really hard on this, and it's a little bit of a Leslie Knope-esque passion for the stories, but I just got to take a moment to say we really do love and care about playing stories together. Memes aside, this is an activity that I strongly feel that if just more people invested a bit of time in, this can be part of making society a better place. I genuinely believe that. Is it a panacea? No, it's not going to cure everything, but I do ultimately feel that it can contribute to a better future for everybody. And I hope that the story that we've all told and the choices that we have all made, for good or for worse, help illustrate the degree to which that is true. But I will say, on a personal note, it's been an honor to be here with you guys and to have so much fun, but also to really explore some intense concepts that ought to be thought through because of what they symbolize for today and God willing for tomorrow, right? So with all that said, all that out of the way, we're going to jump right in to the last episode of our show in season 1, ? But we shall find that out at a future date.
Request a season 2, please, because I want to play more.
Yeah, I would also very, very much like to play more. In any event, we're on the Kaizen. Rana can set course for home with the new propulsion method that Mars gave you, or us, I should say. We can get there very quickly, but I think now we are going to. Everyone gets a coin back. This is a safe harbor. We're not going to level up. There's no need at this point. But we are going to have to decide as a crew what we're going to do with the truth that we have in front of us. So as the ship is headed toward Earth, it can get there very quickly. Ron will make it a bit slower just so that we have time to discuss.
Although it pains her to do so, I'm sure.
No doubt.
She's now always gotta go fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So obviously the choices that are in front of us, given the choice that Mars has told us that Earth made, and what are we going to do with that? Legs said last episode, perhaps we take Earth's microphone away. How do you think about how our society is led and managed, given that the nexus of the vast majority of our decisions over the past 75 years or so have come in one form or another from either the data that Earth drives or Earth's objective consciousness itself? How we forge a new path into the future is going to come from your decisions in this episode. And in my opinion, perhaps more so than anything that you did on Mars, these are the choices that are going to define your characters in this story world. So I think this first scene, as you're going, is starting to make those decisions, and as we get to Earth and move on, we can make them. So what is your plan of action? How are you going to discuss this? Not that we literally just spent the last hour and a half at lunch doing that.
Episode 10, guys.
Yeah.
It feels like just recently.
Can I call a meeting
I
around
know.
like a really
I hope I'm not wearing
nice
the same
conference table?
Yeah, there's a conference room.
Serve some drinks.
I have the same
Have a
piercings.
seat.
Sure.
I take a breather for the first time in a very long time.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, this is the first time
And I like to also personally engage the cloaking device,
Okay.
just for
Ship is
own
cloaked.
paranoia reasons.
Yep.
And just welcome everyone to the table.
Got some decisions to be made. I'll say that obviously beyond U6, there's Rana, Tane, who is still really distraught, but he's trying to tough it out, and 13. So, if
What
my
about
math serves
K10?
me right, there are 9 of you.
What about
Just like you.
K10, our canine robot companion? It's been
Yeah, exactly. He's pretty cool.
Frank is just walking along the table.
And of course, Pig and Piglet are the chief librarians of Mars.
Well, I'd like to make this an open forum. I'd like to hear what y'all have to say.
I think we need to first figure out what we want the goal, what do we want our end goal to be, based on what we know now.
Are you saying that in character? Or are you saying,
Yes.
Okay.
What
I think
do we want
these
the
two
result
were
of our actions to
talking about holding someone accountable, like Adwale.
be? You can.
I think that my perspective is I think that at the end of the day, there was a decision made by an entity that is yet to be defined as to who ultimately made the decision, but there was a decision made by an entity to sacrifice lives in order to most likely save lives in the future. From a medical perspective, the logic of cutting out the cancer to save the body is integral to being a physician.
You cured cancer.
I cured cancer. I would know.
I could technically use cancer to cure itself. You didn't actually cut anything out. You reprogrammed it.
Okay, fair enough.
Cancer became a good thing.
That's right.
Which could also apply
I
to the
did
metaphor.
edit. I edited the actual
Genome,
genome in the cancer cells, but unrelated.
I think.
Wait, you cured cancer?
Just so we're all clear.
Oh, okay.
I'm the
on the same
authority. But I do think that at the end of the day, there was a decision to create mass genocide. Like, that's the truth. We know that that is factual. We know now. And we also know that the world doesn't know that. And I think that we need to take into account two very serious pillars. A, what is going to be the reaction of our return and dissemination of this information? Just taking a look at our team right now, obviously it has affected us, just us 9, incredibly deeply. Mm-hmm. So I think that we need to very seriously consider what we are psychologically about to do to an entire planet worth of people.
And in different ways.
And should we?
In a multitude of ways that we absolutely cannot account for. From a medical perspective, we cannot account for the psychological effects we are about to imbibe on the entire population of the Earth.
Imbue?
Imbue.
I said
Just
imbibe.
just a heads up that I'm recording, like in game, recording this council session.
Interesting. Okay.
Do you have my permission?
No.
It's not a two-party state. It's a one-party state. So
Oh, okay,
he
fair
can
enough.
So he
record
can
you
do it.
without.
So that's one.
Massachusetts is a two-party
The
state.
other pillar is we are the team that was put in charge of saving Mars. Technically, we didn't do that. I guess we saved Earth, but what we did for Mars is up for debate. So I think we have to come to a decision on how we are going to frame what we have done and how we are going to frame what Earth has done, and how we look at what happens going forward should take both of those things into consideration very, very seriously.
Dr. Gallagher, first, I just want to thank you for being a member of this crew. I'm incredibly proud of you. You're by far the most wise young person I've ever met in my life.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
It's almost like you have the wisdom of like a 25-year-old.
Incredible.
Sorry to digress, but thank you for your input. Anyone else would like to speak on this topic?
I mean, I think we should go around the room and get the opinions of everyone.
Everyone should talk once.
Great. Go ahead. That's what we're here for.
I mean, I totally agree with the two main pillars that you've said. Well, first off, I think we need to get a consensus. Do we agree that these are the two general routes that we need to take? And then after that, we need to figure out what we're going to do with each one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, agreed with what Saoirse has said for now, and then I want to make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of the general routes that we're trying to take, and then we can approach each one individually.
We gave the Martians the choice.
I'll speak for Tane. Tane's opinion, as downtrodden as he is that if there's one thing that we've learned in the last 24 hours, it's that there always seems to be new information which changes our perspective. I would advise this council, who has been empowered and entrusted with the truth, that no matter what consensus we reach, we have an open mind depending on what we find on the planet. And yes, that is admittedly biased, coming from somebody who has spent his entire life supporting Earth and given its integral place in what we're doing. I think you would be right to listen to me and hold that with a grain of salt. But that said, I do think that depending on what we hear, depending on what we choose to believe, that should impact the choices that we make. What we tell the population about Earth's role, about Adewale's role, about the role of the Adun machine, about what happened on Mars and its relationship to Earth. I think that we should hold our final judgments until we've had a chance to communicate with the affected parties. Rana, not to cop out, but this just isn't her area of expertise. She's a sportsman, she's a champion. Making decisions on the behalf of planets is not what she signed up for. She signed up to get us there and back and put her life on the line if need be, and she has fulfilled that contract to the best of her ability. But this just, she doesn't feel like, even if she had an opinion, which she probably does, that she's qualified to make an opinion or make a choice. And that is the work of philosophers. I'm the driver.
Could I just answer that briefly with, we are about to make a decision on behalf of billions of people, and that includes you. You know this information, just like the rest of us. None of us here are kings or philosophers or...
Like,
well,
I was watching out of the corner of my eye.
someone here...
Or God Emperors, yep.
So I think
see
that
my
we need to
trial.
respect the perspective of just another human being. And I don't think that it is fair for you to discount your own opinions, because we are going to be affecting farmers and cashiers and people who absolutely are not ready to hear this information. So
Roll for persuade.
Nihilists, anarchists.
10. And
Adorable.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you?
I do have persuade, so that's another one. Not as good. But I do have
Still a 10 plus.
empath, if that would include,
Yeah, it's more about where
or
she's
actually
coming from.
diplomatic. Either one.
It's
Diplomatic.
either a 14 or a 16.
It's a 14.
I think she hears the wisdom in what you're saying, and then she says, strictly as a person who would live in this society, and I by no means believe that the ends justify the means, but I say we go into this new era of exploration with the status quo on Earth unchanged.
Interesting. Okay.
Can you repeat that again?
She says, do not change anything about the power structure on Earth, and simply take this technology of transportation and the truth back to it, and then go into this new era together.
So as though the Earth speaks to the 9 government or Earth government,
Yep.
keep that all
That-
intact. That system.
They still collaborate. The Adun machine, the actual machine, still continue to leverage that in a positive way, continue to still positively evolve our society, and leave the nest as the planet originally advised us before we left on our mission, and embark on this new era of exploring the solar system and beyond. and this new era of science and progress in our species. She's not saying all this, but that's what she means.
And
Well, Rana, hypothetically, let's say we do find out there may have been some shady dealings within the main council. Same answer?
My answer is just simply based on what we know right now.
Understood. Appreciate
If that were to happen, then I reserve the right to make up my mind then.
fair. And finally, the other end of this. Would you want to know the truth? If you didn't know,
If you could start over again.
and I think we all should maybe answer this question. Would you want to know?
I think Rana would say yes, but Tane would say no.
Fair.
I would want to
I think
know.
before Rana spoke, I would say no, but I feel like my mind's changed a little bit. Because if we can, so going into this conversation, I was partially in the boat of if Earth was like the causation of this, that coerced Adwali Adun into doing these things, that how do we hold, Earth accountable, take away the microphone. But I don't know if that would solve more than harm. So I feel like we could take this newfound knowledge and just give the populace of Earth the knowledge that also Earth has its own agenda, regardless of what our own agenda is. So maybe let's not just take its word as face value and, have our own free will, but also take the counsel of, the Earth that has gotten us through the Golden Age, and we are appreciative, but at the same time, we are using our own free will. And, maybe we'll use that free will to go out into the stars and use this new technology. But maybe let's not take away the microphone, but give the audience the information that the person behind the microphone might not be as credible as we think.
Okay? For those of you who haven't spoken, Kayla, Chris?
Oh boy.
Arnold, can you please come out of the gym?
Ah,
I think you've done enough reps for the day.
no, I haven't.
He's just absolutely swollen at
Yeah.
this point.
He gets back and he is just
This-
like,
Not even swollen,
Now I
he's
can't-
swollen.
Now I can't fit through the door for a different reason.
Wink.
What's a lobster?
Arnold has been quiet this entire time.
Yes, you have.
Cause yeah, right? Weird. He, for the first time in a long time, I'll just do this in character. For the first time in a long time, I don't know. I would like to tell the truth, but at the same time, I don't. I lived through the strife. I don't want to see that level of suffering again. And at the same time, how do we hold, if we want to, do we just ignore Earth? Do we just ignore Adun? Do we try to punish them? How do you punish God for the flood? How do you condemn Noah for building the ark? Maybe we should. But to move forward with the status quo intact would be to enforce a lie. And for good or for ill, a future built on that lie is a false future. I think at the very least we should speak to Adun, we should speak to Earth if we're able. And then maybe release it. Let people know.
Keep an open mind.
would you want to know?
Would I want to know? No, dear. I wouldn't want to know. But I do. And I know the onus isn't on the person who doesn't know to find the truth. The onus is on the one who holds the truth to tell it.
And we gave the Martians the option through the pyramid.
We did.
We could
And
give.
took time.
Unfortunately.
Nora is gonna speak for like the first time. You can like she has been dead silent in the corner, trying very hard not to like move. And she just finally speaks, and she's just like, I wanted to hear what all of you had to say, and it was important to me before I spoke, before I told you some information that I've kept personally very private for a majority of my life. Mostly for the irritation of favor that it brought. There has to be some rational explanation. It might not be a good explanation, and it really might not be a forgivable one, but I need to know why they did this. I need to know why my grandfather decided to
Freaking
flap and killed everybody.
it's a freaking genocide.
So Dune's your grandfather.
He is.
No, Earth is.
My name is Eleanor Marsh Adune. It is lovely to meet everyone.
What do you want to know?
Absolutely. But I'm a scientist. I seek truth every day. As are you.
Wow. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, no, take your time. If any of you have questions or wish to speak with me, please feel free to do so in your own time.
Can I borrow
I think
like
that
a couple
was
$100?
You have
Oh no, I'm poor.
I think that was like the cherry on top
Like I'm a grad
for
student
Maximus.
level of broke.
For Marcus, excuse me.
you have his nose.
I think,
Thank you. I do have this.
His nose.
I do.
I would say, I'm very old. I'm very tired. Whatever resolution we come to, as captain, I have to just follow through with what we promised, and that was to accomplish the mission, which we did, return to Earth, and provide the information to the world's authorities. And that's what I plan to do. Provide the truth to those people first and listen, hear what they have to say.
But
that was our job.
Wasn't our mission to go and save the people that we left on Mars?
Save Mars.
We did.
That's
And
the
to
mission
return
that
to
we
the
were
mission.
told.
Right.
And
So we also don't know if the
Well, I'm
people
ju-
who
I
gave us
feel-
the mission.
I'm just telling you.
I feel like our mission is not over.
I was just simply speaking the orders I was given. As captain of the ship, those were the orders I was given, to report back to Earth with any and all knowledge of what transpired and the things that we've learned, and I plan to do that. And I guess we'll figure out what they have to say, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have to speak to
Won't
them
know
first.
until we know.
All right. I think we've had a good discussion. Obviously, there's still details, but I think we've heard each other where we're coming from, right? So whatever agreements or disagreements that we have with what we're about to find out, at least we've heard where each other's heart lies, right? I think that's important in this type of situation.
But instead of having this awkward conversation with the Dune, we could
Well, it's not just a dune.
go up the moon.
The moon.
Hey-o!
We could blow up the moon.
There's only one.
I have anxiety. I would rather do that.
All right.
Let's go for a beach trip, look at the stars, and then watch one of them disappear.
So, obviously, the communications, like we talked about at the end of last episode, were intentionally severed, right? So, you guys go back to the bridge, and Rana significantly escalates your velocity.
Nice.
She certainly
Everyone buckle in.
doesn't mind doing.
And I'm done.
And you, for the first time in, it feels like a long time, and it really hasn't, I think, in terms of hours, but in terms of experience, it's a lifetime ago that you've seen
It was like 3
seen,
days ago.
seen Earth.
It's a whole anime
And,
season. It's a
right.
whole arc.
All right.
How long has it actually been since we've been on Earth?
I think like a week and a half.
A
Jesus.
week and a half.
I know, right?
We altered
my
the course
God.
of like the lives
I
of
know.
2 planets worth of organisms.
Yeah, like a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that.
We also saved planet Earth from being absolutely entirely
Decimated.
blossomed.
Blossomed, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did in
And,
a week and a half.
What
How
about
long is it
Buttercup
going to take the 21st
or
century?
Bubbled?
It's certainly, this is a site, no matter how many times you've been to space or will go to space, that
cool.
never gets old. Just because you know that Earth is, a sentient being or, thinks this or does that, doesn't mean this isn't a beautiful sight or an awe-inspiring As you pull in orbit, you notice that there are no ships, civilian or otherwise, in orbit.
I guess I'd ask Tane to
Tanya.
open direct link to, the council members
There is an answer, and
on screen.
Adewale Dune comes on the screen, and he says,
Hey, buddy.
please land at... So actually, none of you know this. Not even you have security clearance, but he's about to wear the actual... remember how, like, in Seoul, what we think of as Seoul, South Korea, has the planet battery, right?
Yeah.
Where does that actual feed to? Like, where is Earth's interface actually located? It's a closely guarded secret. And he sends that location to Tane over the intercom. and
Will
says,
Can we guess where it is?
Will the rest
Yeah,
of
if you
the
want.
Will the rest of the World Council be present?
No, there's just me for now.
Well, then I'm afraid we're gonna have to wait on that.
Let's maybe hear him out.
No.
No, there's
No.
not a chance I'm meeting with him alone.
No, we're gonna-
I was given orders. I'm not
let's
gonna
go
go
talk
meet
to
this
him.
guy
No,
alone.
let's go talk to him first. Let's,
Something tells me that Rana might just make the decision for us because she's the one navigating.
look,
Yeah.
let's just
Well-
Yeah.
let's talk to the guy. Let's,
We can talk to him from here. I'm not gonna go on his turf without the World Council members. I mean, I'll say as an order. If you guys decide to go against me, that's up to you. But that's what I was ordered to do originally, and I want to complete what I was told to do.
So
I'm
you'd
not going
rather
to meet with
cover
the
it
guy
on
that
red tape.
potentially might be up to no good alone in his literal stronghold. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, but again,
Yeah, but maybe
like
From a
all of
tactical
us?
perspective and from the original mission plan, I'm just not going. I'm not
Look,
going to go
there's
against
no
it. Now, I mean,
Captain.
yes.
There's
yes,
no-
Doctor. I mean,
Ships in orbit right now. I have a feeling that this isn't a choice we have to make at the moment.
File your report. It'll get delivered, but we're talking down here. We're going to settle this one way or another.
Boss fight.
In any event,
Ignore
you,
the screaming.
you guys are dropped off in the pad, and the Kaizen goes back into a safe, low orbit.
So above the pad is the facility like on a mountaintop, and does it kind of look like a Gothic architecture with lightning coming
Honey.
down? I'm sorry.
It does not.
Damn it.
Although
It's
it
really
is,
simple,
it is a
Really nice.
a rusty
Retro modern.
tan
Love the
color.
classics.
Okay.
The dirt is brown.
Oh, the dirt's
Very
not red?
natural. The only
missed that.
thing artificial is this pad. Even the entrance is built out of the earth. Right. The entrance to the earth is built out of earth, I should say.
Should see our house.
In any event, who is on the pad
Who's on the pad down there? Yeah, everybody except
except for Marcus and
Marcus
Rana?
Rana 13.
and 13.
13 staying?
it's up to you, man.
Is he
You're 13.
curious?
I just think 13 would.
I
side
think
with
13 is
Marcus.
going to stick with Marcus.
That's how I
Yeah.
feel too.
Okay.
And we get on the pad, and it's loaded
So
with
it's us
C4.
and Tane.
Okay. Unless any of you stop him, Tane is going to march right up to Adewale and hold him.
Get
Not
him!
in a way that's going to hurt him, because he can't punch him because he's been this, but his anger is gonna.
I'm gonna put a big meaty paw.
Jacked paw.
Yeah, jacked paw. Like
Even his knuckles have
Tane.
muscles.
not as. That was not the time.
It's not Tanya.
Persuade.
Tanya, sorry. Oh, persuade, you say?
I mean, you can't literally actually hit him, right? Because he's been blossomed.
So 9
Can't, but you might be able to
plus
assuage his anger, which might
6,
send him down the
15.
dark path. You temporarily remove his anger, and it subsides, and I think he is ashamed that he let himself get into that state, and he is starting to not recognize himself.
I'm going to tell him.
Don't be, it's okay.
Think nothing of it.
I already have thought a lot about it.
We'll think about it later. We'll have an existential crisis later.
All right.
Sounds right.
Adun addresses you all and says that from the moment that you left, I knew that you were going to find out the truth.
Okay.
And you may, based on some of the intelligence that I was getting while you were there, have found out that I was a part of
Tell that.
the Earth's plan
I'm recording this.
Interesting.
Secretly.
to give life on this planet a chance to continue, which is how he characterizes it. You may have even been told that I had no part in doing that consciously, but at this point, at this stage in our progress as a species, I feel it would be disingenuous if I told you that I couldn't have stopped what was going through my mind. When I saw the plans that were being laid out through me, I knew that this wasn't coming from my mind, and I knew it was coming from elsewhere. I could have stopped it, but I truthfully believed in its wisdom, and I do even more so today. Whatever it is you saw, or whatever it is you experienced on Mars is a story for another day. But what happened here on Earth was the only path that would get us to a future where there was life on this planet. Continued life on this planet, you should say. And as much agony and hatred and pain and suffering that we went through as a product of that decision of the planet and ultimately myself, it is worth it. Explicitly, the ends justify the means in this case, because without it, life would have ceased to exist, and this conversation never could have taken place. We never could have achieved what we could have achieved.
How do you
And
know
the-
that?
Is that what you were told?
I was
Listening
granted.
for your communication.
I was granted,
Hear him.
to the extent a human mind is capable of, a sight into the planet's perception and knowledge of our collective trajectory. And I strongly agree in no uncertain terms that if life had been allowed to continue unmolested as is, it would have resulted in the loss of all life.
Through his chest.
BS.
I did not invite you here to simply agree with me. I invited you here to tell you the truth.
I'm gonna ask him something. Are you prepared to tell that truth to the rest of the world?
Ultimately, it is not in my power to stop you forever. So after this conversation, I will release the block on the communications grid of the planet. My only ask is that whatever choice you make after you talk to me, and if you wish, talk to the planet itself, that you do so with a great deal of care, knowing the burden that is being entrusted to you. In many ways, you are in the shoes that I was in those many times back then. If you ruin the trust that we as a society has built up in the foundation of this society by telling everybody, then
Ruin
it would
the
undo everything
trust.
we've done. Yeah,
Ruin the trust
that's right.
of your lie. What trust was there to begin with, Adewale?
Do you criticize a doctor for administering chemotherapy? There was no
I
choice.
criticize a murderer for saying that there was trust when he built this entire foundation on a lie.
Roll to see if I can control myself.
I wouldn't say.
Oh, wow. Control yourself.
Ultimately, this foundation was not built on what you consider a house foundation to be built on. It was not particularly honorable. It was not even particularly morally good. As a matter of fact, one could say it was objectively the most evil thing that's ever been done on the face of this planet.
And you understand that.
But do you understand that without that, whatever it is that we've achieved or will continue to achieve could never have existed?
That's not a guarantee.
That's
I-
not through
Based
his
on
communication.
what you think.
Adewale, do you understand actions have consequences?
That's exactly
Hold
what
on.
the Trinity thought.
Do you understand that actions have consequences?
I certainly do.
Then you'll understand this.
You're gonna stab him?
Oh, dude.
Opposed combat. I'm
If I
gonna
can't-
stop
If I
him.
can't blow up the moon, I'm gonna blow up this guy's.
Can I also roll too?
At least you recorded him. I'm ejecting myself outside.
Yeah, I think you actually probably should do something about this,
No,
but
Ian, is that okay?
What did you roll, Chris?
I rolled a 11
Plus
plus
6?
6.
17.
I rolled a 14.
Total?
Yeah.
13.
Can I eject myself?
Not in time.
Actually, I have a chip.
I also have a chip.
But I can
Oh,
out
damn.
You can
2
out
chips versus 1.
There.
What if we all chip in?
What if we just all fight like in real life?
Chris is like, I'll beat them. I know.
I don't know. I don't think I
Successes
will.
and a fail.
If all 3 of you chip, I'm gonna have you do a 2d6 roll off.
Whoa.
Go ahead.
Okay,
And
that's
also,
really fun.
would it have had
Last episode, why not?
any impact on like where
Okay,
we were
are
all
these yours?
actually
I think I took
stationed?
yours.
Oh, those are yours.
No, I'll reorient the story however is necessary to be fair.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Ooh,
7.
9.
Got 9.
I got a 6.
To be fair to Chris,
No, don't be fair to me.
no, I'm going to be fair because that's the right thing to do is to be fair. You are able to get the knife into his chest, just not all the way through. He
But I've
doesn't.
been working out so much.
Yeah, I mean, before you're stopped from plunging it, and you're thrown back off the knife, and his gaze, his face doesn't change whatsoever.
What?
Eject, 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 eject.
I'm
You're
gonna
out.
rush forward to start medical attention on the wound.
By all means.
Same.
By all means.
Wait, he said his face
Wait,
doesn't
he
change.
didn't respond to me stabbing him?
That's correct.
Cool.
Can I, while I am
Not
You took a lot of
administering,
Either that,
I
or
was
he's not,
expecting-
or he's
like,
partially
really, just
android
really
or
alcoholic.
cyborg right now.
No, he has
On
an
my heel.
immense amount of discipline.
drugs. Okay.
Ah,
Okay,
okay.
so
well, that was-
okay, got
Am
it.
I
Well,
in
anticlimactic.
All right,
Yeah, I
hold
thought that
on.
was gonna be way more
1 second.
horrifying.
Yeah,
To
I'll
you,
take discipline.
To me.
I don't begrudge your animosity. I have hated myself every single day for the last 50 years while I've lived in this society, and yet I still don't regret the decision. You have
Arnold's-
no idea and never will what it's like to be in my shoes. So criticize me at your leisure.
He's actually
Arnold's-
wrong.
Yeah, he is wrong.
Because
Arnold's,
we've been
as
in
far as he
Trinity's
knows, for
head.
right. So
Hold on.
I,
Arnold's foaming at the mouth now because he's like, he just is remembering his childhood. He's remembering his brothers and sisters who got fucking died of radiation poisoning, starvation.
Get him,
his
Arnold.
mother who had to kill people to let them live. He himself, when he was young, when he had to murder people to stay alive. And he's just losing his mind over this, and just everything's coming to the surface. And just like he gets that he feels guilty on some weird level, but just the impassion, like just like the lack of like passion on Adewale, that kind of resignation to his own decisions is making him angrier.
Okay, fine.
because I'm assuming very close to him at this point. I'm going to be applying pressure, and
You can roll to heal.
Is someone
Oh, I
holding me-
rolled to
are you
heal
holding
and
me
I got
back?
a
Better- okay.
10.
Yeah, I would
Understood.
be.
I'm not that
earlier.
And I have
It.
the predator suit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're making fun of my
No, you're
band.
good.
No, it's me.
The 9 this is
9 plus 6, so
15.
Nora, you're able to take the knife, staunch the bleeding. You close the wound easily and disinfect it.
okay.
Am I next to him now?
But I was going to, while I am
Even with the
actually
predator
doing
suit?
Okay.
that,
You're in low orbit. It takes.
I just am
sometimes
going
it-
2
to,
seconds.
you want to give us this information with the idea that you are in such a position that no one would have made a different choice. And now that
That's
might
right.
not be what you're saying, but I think that is.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Great. Okay. So you're saying that if given the choice, that these people would have sacrificed what is millions, I'm assuming,
2 billion people died.
2 billion people for the now
Initially.
12 billion.
No,
current-
that's total. And the
really?
entire, yeah, I mean, that's one.
Oh, I figured like they
Fourth
2
of-
billion in the explosion, and then like over time.
1 million
no,
was
no,
my
no.
kill count, unfortunately.
So
I'm just saying, I'm pretty disgusting
Oh,
myself.
okay.
But
Oh, right.
because Your understanding is that there was never any other option, that you knew with 100% certainty that the ends justified the means.
I've never been so certain of anything in my entire life.
It's
And I would invite you that if you have the stomach to do so, to go find out from the entity that we know as Earth, and you may feel the same thing, and you tell me if you would make a different decision.
You
I
just came from an entire planet of doing this literal
certainly,
same thing.
I certainly will take you up on that offer.
Yep.
But I do need
That's
you
why I
to
invited
know
you here.
I should have put all my points in
That-
gunfighting.
at the end of the day,
It's been combat.
whether you believe us or not,
Yeah, I know, seriously.
Specialized.
every person here was given that option.
You should get a bonus.
We
for the-
all rolled the dice on whether we should ends justify the means in an entirely separated population. The foil to this decision. And none of us could, in good conscience, decide to sacrifice one population to save a future. Because, unfortunately, we are not God.
Yet.
You are not God.
God,
And what I have very recently learned is that this planet is not God and can't decide what the future holds. So no matter how you want to justify your decisions, you are still responsible for the most death that has ever been inflicted on this planet.
That's
And
right.
another planet.
And another planet unrelated to this conversation, but you did a lot more than just affect Earth.
I would have two questions for him.
Are you still holding me right now?
Yeah.
All right, I'm calm. Can
Okay.
you let me go?
He
Okay.
doesn't
I'm still gonna stand in
disagree.
front of you.
Stab him
But
again.
in order for you to be right, you need to sit in his shoes, which you are biologically incapable of doing until you go down there.
I would have two questions
Go
for
ahead.
him that I want to ask at some point.
Go ahead, ask him now.
So one is, do the rest of the members of the Planetary Advisory Board know your
No.
part in all of this?
No.
And do you know what transpired on Mars?
What do you mean?
Let me rephrase. What do you know of Mars?
All he knew until like last week is that he thought it was destroyed. Like it was, he intended for it to no longer exist, to remove human presence from the
Got it.
planet. He did
And
not
then-
realize he failed until
Okay.
last week.
And then,
Well, I guess
apologize-
technically he
Yeah.
knew when the beacon went off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, my bad.
So then
But like the mission was genuine.
Yeah.
If they're
Okay.
humans, like we really genuinely wanted to save them.
Right. So as of last week, and again I apologize because like the information that was communicated way back at the beginning of this, it's been a while. So can you just help fill in from his perspective what his understanding of the situation on Mars is, just so I can reorient?
Likely a post-Fallout society.
Okay.
That's what my best guess is, based on the fact the beacon existed. Else, I thought no life existed.
Okay.
No.
And if there were humans, I wanted them rescued, treated with care and dignity and love and compassion, and brought them back to Earth. Simple as that.
I think.
This is a good villain.
Agree.
Like this is just, like
I'm gonna, right before Marcus, hero lands right next to all of us.
He's actually not supposed to be a villain. You haven't even seen the last scene yet.
Doesn't matter.
We haven't even spoken to the Earth yet.
I would just,
Yeah,
I
well,
would
making
urge
these
him.
claims.
We came from an entire planet of people that were 100% sure that they were right,
Yep.
and then we were able to, by the end of it, not sway their opinion, but open them up to maybe they weren't 100% sure.
and then like off in the corner.
Sounds like you have an excellent
I
track
murdered them
record
too,
of
you son
success.
of a-
You are a tribute to what our society has achieved.
So maybe we are wrong, but I just urge you to not be 100% sure.
Oh, may I?
If here's the thing, if you've lived my life,
Compelling.
it is difficult, I'm sure, knowing what you know, to have empathy for me. But what I've seen, what I've done, and what I believe is not going to materially change for as long as I draw breath.
That is a fact, and as I land, I help put pressure on the wound, turn off my mask and look him in the eye, and I say, while they're patching him up and such, what we've learned on Mars is that, similar to your Adun machine Earth, there's something similar there, but far more complex. Mars is what, 3 billion years old? We met
Isn't
3 billion year old Mars and spoke with what was it.
Mhm.
She made the same mistake twice that you made and regrets it deeply. Who are you to disagree with a 3 billion year old
I
entity?
don't think she's 3 billion years old.
She's
Mars
as
is
old as
3
Martian life.
Oh, I thought she was as old as the
But-
planet.
Just
But
still
when did
pretty
life-
friggin' old.
Whatever.
She's
1
ancient.
billion years old.
Whatever
The
it
guy
is.
that goes aliens
You-
is like, whoa.
Are you? Do you understand now that you are wrong? After I say that,
All I'm hearing is a person who had a very intense, if not downright unprecedented experience on another planet
no.
have something
Not a
they think is
person.
analogous
Literally,
to my
the planet
context.
itself.
Do you see that you're wrong? Who are you? Like, great soldier, that you had a wonderful time on the planet and learned a lot.
We did not. We
I'm,
did not have
I'm
a
saying
wonderful time.
exactly that to him. Who are you? Here's an experience that
Do
transcends.
you realize who he is and what he's done? Who the are you, dog?
Wally.
As far as he, as far as
Obviously,
he's
just came
concerned.
from Mars and learned.
I put my
This
more
is
than
the
you could-
equivalent of Nora going to,
Oh
like,
my
I think it
God,
was
this
the wolf
guy's
or
a
the
fool.
Colossus
Yeah.
and being like, why haven't you talked
Yeah.
to me yet? It's like, because I don't know who you are.
Okay, hold on.
It's like, do you see that you're wrong?
It's like,
Hold
oh,
on.
I'm
Hold
just
on.
sharing.
Hold on.
I'm just
No,
sharing
I-
with them facts.
I love that because I
Commander.
agree. At this point, I'm
billion
100% Team Marcus.
Commander.
Now,
You're
what you're
wrong.
saying
On
is
what you're saying
true,
is-
but he can't possibly
he
feel the
can't.
truth of what you're
Hold
saying.
on.
He's only lived his life.
Okay.
I put my
okay.
camera in
hold on,
Marcus's
hold
hand
on.
and walk into the cave.
I walk into the cave too.
Guys, hold on.
Can we just not?
It's
Commander,
I'm sorry,
Commander,
dude.
I'm calm. Could you let me go now? The planet now.
I think most of us want to go see the planet, but I'm trying to
Okay, but am I let go now?
yeah.
Okay, stab him again.
I'll stop you. That's.
My
That's a
bot.
15.
All right.
I'm still.
You're gonna
talking.
have to pull me off of this guy. I'm literally laying on top of him trying to save his life. So like, if you try to
16.
stab him, you're gonna
16. Damn it,
stab
Predator
me.
suit. Wait, I have one more question. Then you can say.
I would like to very quietly sedate him.
Sedate him. All right, roll for heal.
Wait, before you sedate him, tell him to unlock the communications ray.
Nope.
That stuff is locked until he wakes up.
Wait.
Can I also knock this guy out?
14.
Well, I'm holding him.
You,
You can try.
It's just like a mild.
as you're
touch.
pretending to
Yes,
heal
I
him,
can.
nobody really notices except for Asima, who at this point is like at least one less body that I have to care about. You knock him unconscious and
do.
help him to the ground.
Yep.
Am I knocked unconscious?
No, I'm holding.
That's her choice.
Marcus, you can grapple. There's no way you're getting out of a predator suit grapple.
That's
No
fair.
disrespect.
All right, so he's just being held. So then I'll turn to the group.
Even as jacked as you
can
are.
we like knock
Wait,
him
can we,
out or
so-
something?
can we roll for it just for the...
Go ahead.
Okay.
I mean, you'd
So-
have to double his roll.
Okay. Roll, please.
I already rolled 16.
No, this is different.
this
This
is
that was
the
to
new roll.
stop
This is
him.
for
So
grapple.
what am I rolling for? Strength check?
He's trying to break out of a
So I'm rolling
grapple.
combat again?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
going to make him double your roll.
12.
Did you roll a 24?
No, I got a 12. I got 2 6s. Damn.
Wait, like, oh, but not.
But he rolled
No,
down.
not.
Right.
Yeah, no.
So I'm just gonna. This is not going to last forever. I didn't kill him, because clearly this is what we're trying to do now.
I'm not trying to kill him.
I am.
Great. But here's the thing. That's definitely not our job, or it's certainly against my job, which is to save people's
I
lives.
thought y'all were putting people on trial 10 minutes ago. Now we're stabbing.
Yeah.
We're becoming murderers.
So that's my
whoa,
point
whoa,
here.
whoa.
I am definitely, just for a little information, anti-death penalty. What a shock. We can't kill the guy. We definitely, if we want to see justice, I want to see justice just as much as the rest of you. But killing him makes us no better than him,
All right.
doesn't it?
You're,
Doctor,
you're,
the only
you're
person who
talking
tried to
to
kill him is one person.
Okay, you're talking to someone who's
One
seeing red
person.
right now.
My job
Doesn't
is
matter.
to take him and bring him to the council board. Is that okay with you all?
That sounds great. That
Great.
Talk
plays
to
out.
the Earth first.
That sounds
Go ahead.
wonderful.
Do your thing.
What happened to us? We just tried to help
think
all
we're-
of
I
Mars
mean, we've
for the
seen
sake
a
of
lot at this point.
Also,
We're
is
just
he-
a group
is he-
of chuckles right now, just yelling at each other. Like,
Yeah.
everyone,
Good.
let's
Through a lot.
let's get on the same page and be a team and
Suckers.
finish the mission.
Okay.
I just gave
I'm gonna
orders. No one
ask
follows them.
Asima to like carry.
The basic.
Yes.
Are now-
But before I do that, can I put shackles
Yes.
on this dude?
That's
Good.
fair.
Great.
Yeah.
I was just gonna give him the Vulcan
Like
nerf punch, but-
logically, he's just like, all right, fair, but
I'm mad.
I'm mad.
Yeah.
But go on.
You are
I
shackled,
acknow-
and
I
it will
acknowledge that.
require.
Thank you. I appreciate
Probably-
Take your
It'll
bayonet.
require a non-knife fighting.
But he uses his knife. He's like, all right,
I use a performance.
we're going
to
down the
unlock
stairs.
my-
All right.
Yes.
Yep.
And
Sounds
will-
good.
Go
I'm
into the
carrying
cave,
him.
and I
Is the
stay
Earth
there
voiced by Malcolm
forever.
McDowell?
We are, we
It
are
should be.
going
All
downstairs.
three.
Okay.
There is a artist's rendition of what you're going to see behind me, and whatever. We remember how in the first episode, you know, when you came out of your trial, you had your happy place. This is similar in that whatever you naturally mentally associate with Earth from a symbolism perspective is what you see on screen. I see redwood trees, but other people might see other things. So I'm not going to tell you see redwood trees, but you might see something. There is an interface though. And
Do we definitely see trees?
you can, if that's what you associate.
But we don't necessarily all see trees.
You see something very different. Whatever, well, maybe not. I suppose.
Adewale Adun being stabbed.
Okay. And
He has every reason to just want to kill him.
I agree, but
you walk down
No, I
into
get
the
it.
room. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and defend what he did, but I'm saying that you're examining it at too cursory a level for my liking. That's what I'll say.
fair enough.
Is this from the DM's perspective?
Yes.
After providing us with a 1 billion-year-old who regrets making the similar decisions?
No,
To not want to like at least
smash.
get this.
Like Arnold wants to talk to the Earth, but he's also just frothing mad.
You're
at
allowed
this,
to be. I
so
mean,
that's-
your
that's-
family suffered deeply by his decision.
Put Adwale in that stasis thing that she has so he can't escape.
He's not going.
He's
Is those
sedated.
are those is the stasis thing
Not
stab
going
proof?
anywhere. He's literally just
done.
like morphine. Like the guy is
New
out.
moon, as it were.
It's just the stasis feels
Look, we're gonna put Adewale Adun
Stop it.
on the moon and then blow it
so
up
Blowing it adorable.
while
So,
they throw a knife at him.
You guys go to the room, and there is an uncomfortable gravitas about what you are all doing. It's one thing to converse with Mars when you're not from there, but it's another thing to talk to the planet where you've lived and resided your entire life. I mean, you lived on Earth
I'm from the moon of
99.9. Yeah, well,
Gangsta.
I'm Phobosian.
Yeah, exactly. Please.
You don't know where I'm from.
Yeah.
You don't know me.
You've been there.
The Earth would
Tried to blow it up.
say, I don't understand how you must be feeling right now. But for my part in all of this, I would like to share with you what my perception of things were when the decision was made. Do you consent to that happen?
Only if you consent to this data chip here being inserted into you. The collective members of the Trinity
Yes, I
and Mars in general.
Consent before.
I consent.
There. Go first.
Does anyone here explicitly opt out?
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
Phobosian.
I wanna
Try and
hear it.
stab the system.
I
in
that
He's
remains to be
shackled, so
seen.
no.
Yeah, we haven't heard the answer yet.
I can hold a knife with my teeth.
Poor Nora just wants to answer. She's like,
I take
in the early 2040s, human society and the natural ecosystems at the planet had gone to an inflection point, right? Where decisions that we had made and then how that had influenced nature as a whole was causing a collective amount of suffering that to the planet that hadn't happened since the dinosaurs were made extinct, right? And the planet, with the evolution of the human mind, was becoming more influenced by humanity directly because of how it exists as a byproduct of life. And was starting to consciously look at the trajectory of things. And what you feel is the constant moment by moment suffering that the planet was enduring as a byproduct of our species' decisions. Not just the cruel parts of nature where the fox rips the throat out of a rabbit so that it and its children can live for a few days, but everything that we were doing and the route that we were going down, and you feel that at a level that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to feel. And it is a severe, constant escalation of what you almost feel as unlimited pain that just gets worse and worse and worse and worse over time. And that pattern is so utterly obvious and pervasive that what other conclusion could you draw than to, in the love for the things that are causing you that pain, want to remove the elements from its society that are causing it. And the only way to do that, so far as it or the byproduct of all life could come up with, is to push the reset button, right? You feel as equal amount of pain that it was experiencing, even more what you would call love for all of us and all of nature, whether there be like gross beetles or cute bandit raccoons or the weird creatures underneath the ocean, or you guys walking down the street. Just these are all part of me being the planet. These are all part of the connected. And if something doesn't fundamentally change, it will cease to exist. And whatever pain or love it was experiencing, I think you're interpreting this imagery and these feelings as it being backed up against a wall over a very long period of time, and just making a call and using just an extraordinary genius in Adewale Adun to plant both seeds simultaneously, one of the reset, but also what a balanced and harmonious future could be. And this was the most loving and compassionate thing, given those circumstances, that it could do. And to the extent that I'm projecting human morality onto a literal planet, it loathes in no uncertain terms that happened, but it counters with the unbridled, ever-escalating pain and anguish that was being caused to it, and the ultimate justification for doing what it did. And that is what you experience.
Does it experience the Mars experiences?
Earth. This is all
I
about
know.
Earth.
What I'm saying is, Earth made an agreement with me. Is it now going? Is that?
Yeah.
Is it a program, or is it like Mars? Is it a collection of? Is it the technology?
It was technology, but now it is much more like what Mars
Gotcha.
is.
Okay. Does it experience what the Trinity experienced and what Mars experienced?
After what you just experienced?
Yes. I inject
Yes.
it with what?
Consensually.
Yeah, we can
Consensually. We agree on it.
inserted that
It does.
consensually. That's good to say.
And it's like
Earth does experience it.
the billion
and-
years of history, right?
Well, you don't have a billion. You
Well,
have
you
a
don't even
perception.
No, we only have
That's a
since
big
last-
As much as we have.
I get it. I'm
You
sorry.
get what I'm
I
saying,
didn't
the
mean to be
concept.
technical. Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Couple
And I think
terabytes.
actually, for the first time, Earth doesn't feel alone, but it's the first time that Earth feels like it's part of a larger community. I realize that we're talking
Like a
about different
system.
scales.
Like a solar system.
Oh, like a galaxy? Like a
Or like-
universe?
All right, for Christ's sake.
A nebula neighborhood.
And
Were you aware
Milky Way.
that your neighborhood planet was so advanced?
no.
Now that you're aware, do you see the decisions that you have made as the same way? Has it changed your opinion on those decisions?
In all fairness, Mars killed everyone. Earth did not kill everyone. So
Mars killed everyone by accident.
By accident, which
Yeah.
very
They actually
likely
made the same decision.
could
Right.
It's just that
Oh, okay.
their
Their technology
society
was a little
unraveled, did not recover, whereas we,
Lived in the
humanity,
apocalypse.
were successful
Thankfully,
through
it made it.
Dune, through the society, through the leadership, through the hard work, the suffering, the sacrifice. We actually won, whereas the Martian society failed.
So Earth's a Chad.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Wow. All right.
But
Earth
does
is
Earth say I would have made the same decision?
It's a good question. I would say that I know what it sounds like. I'm projecting human emotion, so that's all I can do because I, the
Yes.
DM,
Right,
am
right.
human.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
GM.
You, what?
You're a demigod, right?
I would say the Earth
thought he was a
feels
ghost. Kept saying he's the goat.
compassion. I
Thought
would
he
say
was
the Earth
super
feels
cute.
sadness. I don't think it changes Earth's opinion because it doesn't change anything about what went up to their decision, but it greatly saddens Earth that another has felt something so similar. And actually, it's a little cathartic for Earth that it knows it wasn't in this position, and it's actually getting Earth to think about maybe this is the natural evolution of life on a planet.
So, all right. So we're not going to change its mind.
I mean,
Hold on.
Can you promise us not to make the same mistake again? Can you not do it?
there's no reason. I mean, I think the other thing on the other side of the token is when you start to think of it like that, now that we've achieved this, I understand that you can never have the same degree of trust as you once did, and frankly, I don't blame you. However, I just can't have made a different call. I'm sorry. The suffering and the trajectory, it was just too great to bear forever. And so it is what it is. However, now that we have left the nest, now that your crew, have proven, because it's experiencing what you just sent from Mars, that have proven that what we have brought out into the solar system, beyond our borders, is worthy. We're worthy of being those explorers that we can all collectively now, as natives of Earth, make that, if you don't mind me saying it, make that one giant leap into the future together. Right?
Earth and Mars holding hands.
Okay. So, fine. But what do we do now?
And weren't there any other alternatives? I hate to ask.
It's going to say no.
We could, this is not Earth anymore. This is me. It's like debating a planet is such an odd thing to do.
Right.
I just feel like
We've done it before.
it suffered. It suffered
We're getting
just
good.
as much as. So think about it like this: it suffered more than anyone else in all this. Just objective.
Except for Mars.
Hand me my knife and we'll figure it out.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That is true.
I meant all of us in Earth.
Hand me my knife and I'll
No.
make that true.
No,
I
Mars
just keep
has suffered the
stabbing
same way
dirt.
that Earth has suffered. I don't think we can compare what the two have gone through. I mean, even if you compare the Great Calamity, Mars' Great Calamity to our Great Calamity.
your trauma.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
yeah, but what I mean is, yeah, Mars lost its population, and that stinks. But it lost its population like however many years ago that species died off. But that creature,
And all life.
All life on Mars.
Okay.
All life,
yeah,
not just the
So that's-
humanoids.
Not
Yeah.
just
no,
organic.
I know, but
Like
like
literally
we,
everything
I-
living.
we basically turned like what was already a desolate planet back into a desolate planet. That's what happened there. In Nora's opinion.
No, because Nora, what you're not considering in this is that like the previous life forms, the alien life
The
forms that
very
existed.
advanced space-faring,
Right.
galaxy
That
exploring.
May or may
species
not have been
being
lizard men.
eradicated
Yes.
is the true
And then
deep
she did
depression.
it again
Right,
with the
because
Trinity.
that happened
She
with
did
that.
it twice.
I don't think so.
Well,
No, that's
she
not.
she
Debatable.
really messed up.
Well,
man.
see, no, that's
You missed a little bit of a point there.
that's the whole point for that was like, hey, I did this to basically not punish, but solve the problem by cutting out the cancer, and it went really wrong. And then I tried to help mortals, and then it went
That's
really
right.
wrong.
Right.
She felt bad because she saw Earth did the same thing. So her guilt
Yeah.
had her make a choice to help
Right.
when she should have still stayed out of it.
Right. Then it went back.
But it's like,
Like, how do you tell?
but
them
the
to
only
stay out of
difference
it?
is like it wasn't desolate
in any
to
event,
life
we're not
to
we're
desolate.
certainly not comparing trauma. to your
Anyway,
point.
I think either way, what do we do now? And I think
submit.
that's
The
more
Earth is going to say, I submit myself to your choice.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen,
It's not up to
can't
us.
stab
With
the
all due
Earth.
respect.
That could be your choice.
Not gonna
You submit
stab-
it to the
okay.
board.
No, it's
I
up to
promise-
us with others.
I promise only to stab the Earth a
No.
little, but that's that's what
Yes.
I'm going to do
No.
Yes.
individually. What do we do collectively?
I will
great
destroy
question.
you.
Oh.
What?
Well, I feel like collectively we'll never make a decision. Collectively, the planet will never make a decision.
No.
Like,
Us,
no,
us six.
The planet
Us
is
six.
That's
giving
what I'm
us.
saying.
Us
Is
six
us six are never going to
and
agree
the-
because he
and
is
the
going to
eight.
want to go to some world council and tell them everything about this.
We should.
When I don't
Well,
think that's a good
that
idea.
was
vote.
the whole purpose of
Can I ask?
our mission.
I just want to
No,
know
you walked in
why.
with an
Why
objective.
don't you think it's a good idea to share the information with the World Council?
Because objectively, what they did is horrific and terrible and wrong.
So I think we have enough information. I think it's fair that whatever choice you make should all be made together. The burden of what to do in this situation, as unprecedented as it is, does fall to you. Because again, you know. And that means you must choose. So if you want to vote to take this to the council, finish the mission, look at it like that, that's fine. If you want to choose to bury the secret, that's totally fine because you think that would help humanity the most. If you think that severing the Adun machine, cutting off the microphone is the right
That's
thing,
what I was going to ask. That's not possible, right? Because Mars, we couldn't do it.
you can do it here.
We can't do it here?
Because it's a
Because
Is
it
it
technical-
still
is a-
newish?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
I
are
think
those?
there's multiple things that we need to vote on.
I was gonna
because,
say, are
like-
those our options? Are those the three?
Because,
that
like, for
we're looking
example,
at?
That's the ones that
me
I see.
personally, I do not agree. I would not vote on cutting off the microphone.
I agree
Yeah.
with. I agree with them.
But I don't necessarily agree that we need to bury everything
also
for
agree.
forever. So, like, there's.
I think it is
there's, like,
ridiculous to
facets
hold this.
to
Okay.
it.
I think the same thing of like what I said on Mars is don't take away the microphone, but just let them know that who's behind the microphone might not be as credible and in our as humans, in our interest.
Just
I
not
don't-
as
I think the Earth would
infallible.
disagree with you,
I-
but
yeah,
you're
I don't
allowed
think-
to say that and it
Well,
won't
no,
stop
because
you.
objectively the Earth is for its own interest. It will wipe out the human population if it prolongs Earth staying around, as it's done with
Or
the
it's
dinosaurs
in the
and as it
interest,
just
right?
did
It's in
with
the interest of life
nymphs.
as a whole.
It didn't
not
bring the
necessarily-
asteroid for the dinosaurs. That happened
Okay,
to
that's-
Earth. That had nothing to do with Earth's byproduct. I would say that
Or so Earth would like us to think.
But if Earth
it's just like it just grabs it, throws it down. These damn, I'm sick of these guys.
Where did this
Shit.
Oh, my
They look so
lizards!
stupid
Oh,
with their stupid
God!
bumps.
Right.
I just think, like,
oh, my
at this point, we're
lizards.
deciding:
Yep.
do we share the information or not?
We
Do we shut this machine off or not? And further from that, if we decide to share this information, do we A, just bring it to the council and move on from there, or B, play the game that we did on Mars?
All right, let's do this right now. So, question 1 on the open ballot: do we keep the secret or share the information? We're not talking about where we share it, but just yes or no. Is it shared in some capacity, however large or small that is, or is it going
Right.
to be a secret? Okay.
thumbs out if it's
Are there any questions about those questions?
No.
So it's thumbs up.
Well, no, I'll ask. So I'll do like all in favor.
Okay.
All in favor of sharing in some capacity.
Aye.
All in favor of keeping it a secret forever. Sharing in some capacity passes. In terms of capacity, the two ones that I see are giving it to the governing body, giving it to the general public, or something that you're going to have to come up with because I can't see any other choice.
I say general public.
I say general public.
'Cause
If we're gonna do it, yeah.
I say
But-
governing
but-
body.
Like how would that work?
Right.
We set up a library before. We can
Well,
do it
right.
again.
We'll put
Same thing we set up at the
We
Paramount
put it on
Movies.
YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
We
but
could
then who
disseminate
controls it?
information.
How would we? Do we have
We cannot
access to do
control it.
that?
That's the choice you're making.
Once it's on the internet,
If
it's
we
out.
release this information
Yeah,
like
that's
we
right.
did,
Yeah, yeah.
We,
it is
we send
Craft
uncontrolled.
whatever story you want.
Yeah,
Just
we-
where you're releasing.
yeah, we put
Right.
we put the like a file. We put it to everyone. Send it to
It
everything.
would be
Yeah.
very easy.
We
Because
also
the governing
send-
body
We
could
send a
bury it.
copy to the governing body too, so they can
And
at
would the
least-
governing body then manipulate that release of information for their own?
Sorry, I just had a really good idea. I go to the Earth and I have to ask the Earth a question. The Earth can make us see into the past. It can give you that moment where you get to look into the past.
That's right.
Why don't we just give everyone the choice to watch what happened?
Ooh,
I like that.
I like, that too.
a
Watch
view
what?
into a view
Sight
into the
into
past, the sight of tomorrow.
Sight into
Sight into
yesterday.
yesterday.
Sight into yesterday. We do a sight into yesterday
Of who?
for
Adwala?
everyone.
Adewale Adun.
You can't have everybody's memories go in your head.
No, I'm not saying
no,
my
she
head. I'm saying
means-
I
No,
asked
she-
the
Give them the
planet
information.
Yep.
because the planet can do it.
Yep.
Of putting that thought into people's heads and
What
just
thought?
the truth.
Sight into
Just
yesterday.
telling
Oh.
them what happened.
Yeah.
Can it just tell them what
Oh.
happened?
Or give them the option to at least.
Yeah.
Let them go to the library as opposed
So
to
you're
throwing
saying-
books.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let
It
let
can't
your
sight into the yesterday its experience.
What about
yes,
Adwale's
but it can do
experience?
Adewale-
Adwale's
Yes.
experiences.
It could do Adewale's. I
And
think
ours
that should be something
on
that people
Mars.
opt into.
Yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
we
That's why I'm
agree.
saying we
Yeah.
set up stations for that. We set up
Yeah.
places where if you want to know the truth
Yeah.
of what really happened, you go here and
An
you
identical-
can learn
but
it. and
question-
We
read
could
identical
sell
earmark to
coffee
what we
at
have on
these
Mars.
places.
We could make a fortune.
I think that's
Yep.
a great plan. However, what about people, the government manipulating those structures to change the truth?
They can't.
They can't.
If
That's
it's
why we
coming directly
release it
from
to the
Earth,
government.
That's why
They're
we're releasing
monitored
it.
by the
I would
six of
ask
us.
the GM that. If,
We release
like,
it to the
if-
government and the masters at
I
the
just,
same time.
I'm paranoid, fine, but you know they may have the
no,
power.
I
to
think it's a
You have
fair
right
point to be
Cautious.
cautious of the government.
I would say that people who have experienced a simulation, like a SEMA was trained on and built, would know the huge difference between that and a sight in yesterday.
Okay.
But a layman might not. So a government might create a simulation if they wanted to subvert it. But I think
Would the
You're
Earth be able
assu-
to overrule that in some way?
I would say that if you controlled the SIY spots, you could pretty much guarantee.
And
it
what
was good.
guarantee do we have that the Earth will tell the truth? What if the Earth decides
It gave you its word for what it's worth that it will comply with your judgment.
Like that's the best we're gonna get.
And I
think
think
I agree.
That and the
Yeah.
combination of just putting out information on the internet and sending it to
the internet?
What?
I would also
if you go
want to
back
show the people.
on your word, Arnold will just stab the ground.
Yeah.
I would
If
also
you-
want to show the people not only Adewale's experience, but I would want them to see exactly what the Earth told us just now and the way that.
No,
it
that'll be part
described
of what you're
it. Yeah,
crafting, and
yeah.
when you recorded
Well, I've
them,
been recording it.
you can SIY. I mean, I think the SIY is a
Just,
brilliant idea.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
If you want to
like that
suffer,
idea.
So
for
we're
a bit,
voting.
you
We're
go
voting
to-
on
I like that idea a
a
lot.
combination
As
of
long-
the
yeah.
honest story from your perspective, as well as what you saw from
And
Mars,
this
the
idea
SIY.
yesterday with a
Just you're spreading that far and wide.
And it's not necessarily that we now have to distrust the Earth.
No,
It
no,
is-
no, you can paint it.
Yeah.
it's people's it's people's own
but not
personal
implicitly
decision
trust.
Yeah.
Are you
how
going to
they
tell them
want
about
to-
the propulsion?
Yeah.
to the to
Oh, word?
space.
Just the
Wait.
government, I would say, the propulsion.
Yeah.
I actually
To
agree
start.
with that.
Because
Yeah,
people are going to want to peace out.
Right.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I do
well,
not think that we should release new technology that has not been tested.
let's hold it against the government until they do the right thing.
I like that.
I love this.
I
Yeah.
don't.
I love
I
black
don't
metal
know. I
government.
think.
And
I
They
think.
can't
Let's
catch
just
you.
become the
There
government.
are-
I don't. Here's the thing.
don't
Why
know.
should the government have control over such a system that would change so many lives?
Well, because they like it's a planetary advisory.
Someone's
advisory
gonna have to
board, so
control
like
it,
they're
right?
they're the ones that control
We
like.
might as
They
well
were
control
elected.
it.
This is a democracy.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a
So-
in a golden age,
Yeah,
these are
exact-
really good people.
Yeah.
Yes.
so I also think
How about this,
isn't
Arnold?
now,
Arnold,
guys.
you're the hyperdrive guy. Everyone has to go to you in order to jump to the stars.
Okay.
I
Regardless,
think-
we have our
President
vote.
of the
yeah.
hyperdrive.
We have our vote.
God,
Yep.
Emperor
We
Best.
have. We're not keeping the secret. We are disseminating in that very specific way to the public.
yes.
Now,
I think we should keep the drive technology and not even tell the government about it or like the PAB about it. I want to see what they're gonna
Just
do.
see what they do without
Right.
One thing at a
then,
time.
and then
Yeah.
we can use that information at a later stage if we
I would
need
say
to.
that we
Because
should.
I don't want them
Wow,
to.
that's
I also don't
from your
want them.
character's. That's pretty boss.
I also don't want them to think that like we're maliciously.
I agree.
Like I
That's a
don't
good
want
call.
to take that first
we shouldn't
step.
blackmail the
call.
government.
So
I think that
Well,
going forward,
It is your civic duty.
if
to
you ever
blackmail
want to travel the stars,
I'd like to say going forward that this group act as a Mars advisory
Ambassador.
An Illuminati shadow government,
Yes.
if you will.
Totally. Like a
No,
Mars
Ambassador.
planetary
Look,
ambassador.
Some of the Martian lizards survived
Now.
and founded the Illuminati.
Last decision. What are you going to do with the Adun machine, the interface, the explicit interface between Earth's consciousness and humanity?
Staying on.
Is it intact or being shut down?
Oh, intact.
is there
Intact.
is there a kind of a hybrid where it's like try to get it to where Mars is, totally self-sufficient, not a machine?
So evolve it more?
Yes.
Yes,
Wait,
absolutely.
I love that
Wait,
idea.
I think.
Wait,
All
hold
I
on.
think
for
that
that
option.
plan.
Not right
give it
now,
time
but
to
yeah,
evolve.
that
Hold
could be
on.
worked on.
Hold on. What was that one?
Give the
So
Earth
it's like
more time
you
to
know, at
evolve
least
into
Mars
like a
knew at
being.
the end that
So-
it made mistakes.
So let me put this out there, right? We just sent Mars up. Is Mars completely self-sufficient right now?
Yes.
No.
No.
Not yet.
Okay. So here's the reason why we shouldn't.
mean,
we did our
hide-
best.
Okay, hold on. This is why we shouldn't hide that drive technology.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So we
can't-
should
Oh, you-
very
But
stuff.
like in the future, you can organize relief efforts with it. It's
But I
going to
think that's
become
why we
public
should
knowledge
act as
soon.
that
But you want to make
Right.
sure
We should
in
do
the
that as
immediate
soon as
aftermath
possible,
of these
though.
decisions,
I
the right things are done.
yeah, but I think what he's trying to say is that the first plan of action should be ensuring that every single person on Earth has the ability to see the truth about what happened.
Okay.
And if
After that has occurred, which hopefully will go pretty quickly because I feel like this is something a lot of people want to get on board with, and making sure that the government somehow doesn't interfere, then we can start talking about the
by the
technology.
way,
But we're not like obviously.
I don't
we
want
can't
it. I don't
hold
want it to be like years later. Let's
No,
do
no,
this drive.
No, yeah, exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
understood.
I think
You can
this
take it
stuff
We
for
just need to-
whenever you want.
we just need to give the government a week to do the right thing,
Okay.
Yeah.
without making it seem like we're blackmailing them
Right.
first to do the right thing.
Okay. So I
Right.
think you have
Yeah.
made. So then.
That's what we do.
So you're allowing
I love
Earth to
this.
continue its evolution.
Correct. Let's vote on
yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah, with ask it. Can you give us a heads up next time, please?
I think it's a very different calculus now. It's healed.
I
There-
know,
there-
but
it
I'm
isn't
just saying.
suffering.
There's no more gangrenous
10,000,
limbs.
1 million years from now, can you please just give us a heads up?
So maybe we could find a better
You have my
option.
word.
All right. Appreciate that, Earthy Poo.
What are you guys planning on doing with Idun? Is he going to be prosecuted?
I-
Are you going to leave
I
that
I think
to
Arnold
the
has a
authorities?
different answer than
Hey,
the
am I
rest
still
of us.
hey, unrelated, completely
You are
unrelated.
still shackled.
Okay.
What's that?
Absolutely
Do I-
still
Are
shackled.
you still
Okay,
holding me?
Hold on. So can I do a performance check real quick?
Oh, come on, dude.
On,
Don't do it.
I'm trying to Houdini out of the shadows.
You want to be in prison for the rest of your life?
I mean, yeah.
I'm like 60 years old. What?
I'm 80.
He also landed.
I
or
also
He
whatever.
did performance land a plane.
So actually, before he does that, can Asima have like a needle or like a injection of a sedation?
I'll give that to you.
Wait, hold on.
I
hold on.
have
Like
it.
Hold
like
on.
I have
preps.
it.
Wait, hold. Okay, so that's a.
8.
He stabs
Eight-
the stasis.
I got a
tube.
14.
Absolutely not.
Wait, hold on. I get out of the shackles, but immediately get tackled.
Fair enough.
So we're
sedated.
voting on.
I would like to vote that we
Tased.
bring him to the council in this case.
Do we bring him to the council or do we leave him here to heal? I would volunteer to stay. I perfectly fine with whatever anyone votes
We have the
for.
recording
I will
on,
make
so.
sure that he
explain
wakes
the
up
story
perfectly
about
fine and leave him to his devices. So.
Okay.
I love that. So we're gonna just bring him onto the Kaizen and then just
So we
hold him
could-
in our med bay, maybe.
So
Yeah, we don't have to have him.
I
in
just
chains,
volunteer
but-
myself that no matter what happens, I will make sure that Idun goes back to the health level that he was at before we showed up here.
Yeah, can you not mention the
and
that
then-
just happened? Like who?
If we
We
want
don't
to
know.
prosecute him, great. If we want to leave him here to do his job,
You're not
great.
judge, jury, and executioner either. You know, other
Well, so
people
that's what
were
I mean.
elected to
I
pass
did my
judgment.
best to be at least one of those.
You did.
I was
Or more
So
than one.
used
I
to be an assassin, so.
All right.
further from that, my vote is I think that we have no choice but to bring him to the government and to have him speak to his crimes. I'm sorry, but it is absolutely, unequivocally a crime what he did.
Yeah.
After hearing his account, I think it's more so a crime of what he did than what the Earth was trying to do.
Absolutely agree, without a doubt.
I'm down for this.
Because I don't blame the Earth.
Hey,
for-
hey.
Correct.
I do
Forget
not.
about it.
I do not blame an eternal being for making a encompassing decision. Whether I think that's the right decision or not is neither here nor there.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
He is making a decision as a human to kill other humans.
Yep.
I cannot support that decision. I didn't on Mars, and I don't now.
He could have eaten a
But the
cock
Earth,
up.
the Earth couldn't do it on its own.
It's not my opinion.
But that's why I have a
Look,
problem.
yeah,
If I were you, I would do the
That's
same
why I
thing.
have
There are
to bring him.
situations in that though. There are like little caveats, like was he in Boston traffic at the time of the decision?
Right.
Like that.
Now,
You know?
that being said, I definitely slipped a left hook into there a little bit.
All right.
Was he on
so,
95 at the end of the tunnel and he just couldn't
Hey.
get up that hill?
all right. Here's
Right
the
into
deal.
his ribs.
So obviously, over the past, day or so, you've made a lot of decisions. Who is to say what impacts that they're going to have on the society of both planets?
Season 2.
You are, you're human beings, extraordinarily capable ones, no doubt. And you've certainly, I can say, being in this chair, this desk, this table, that you've done the best that you could, right? Not only have you rolled well, I think that you have, for the most part, chosen very well, and you've been very thoughtful where it was appropriate. And however this universe evolves, and whatever this age of exploration is, and whatever, sorry to use the meme again, whatever one giant leap into the future that we make together, I think that you have made the choices that you need to make in order for that future to happen, right? So obviously, humanity is going to find out a very difficult truth about their planet. Some will agree, some won't. It will have a huge impact on our society. On Mars, obviously, they are disassociated and rebuilding. I'm sure there's, part of you, some of you guys will plan relief efforts. Society will continue to grow and evolve. Rana and others, I'm sure, will look toward the stars and where else you can go. But either way, that there are limitless possibilities for the future of this world. And in many ways, that was always the point. So that's it. That's the show. That's One Giant Leap.
Was I
And,
imprisoned?
Immediately.
No,
Yes.
I'm saying
I
it's
think
not
about
prison.
it.
I was too.
I blew up DC, man.
We were cellmates and we got jacked.
Seriously.
What I'll say is that, for those of you who have, watched this show, from the bottom of my heart, and I can imagine I echo these folks' sentiments too, it's an absolute pleasure to have you. And I would say it's one of our greatest wish, that we've been talking about the firewall, one of our greatest wish to be able to do that professionally with our day-to-days, get up every morning and make stories for all of you to interact with and watch and maybe even play yourself. So if you like us and we think you did a decent job here, we'd certainly love your support. There's a lot of ways to get involved. StoryTogether.com is a great way to start. But we're really not here to plug our stuff. Really just want to tell a great story with and for all of you.
Like,
And
comment, and
certainly
subscribe.
as the GM, I'm, like I said at the top, super proud and honored to be a part of this group. I think, what we did in 10 episodes was a lot. And you guys thought and fought and were considerate of a great deal. So I sincerely appreciate not just everything you did at the table, but for the audience behind the scenes. To set up this studio every single time we had one of these was a great deal. And there were a lot of snafus.
Elevator broke twice.
Yeah, we literally got stuck in it.
Stuck in it
Had to
once.
carry our stuff.
Somebody died.
The door
on the
was
fourth
locked,
floor.
wouldn't let us in.
We were
didn't
supposed to
know.
have a different DM, but
Yeah.
the
I
other guy
showed up,
died,
I
and he had
really
to
wanted
show
to
up
do
and
it.
There was a
on
random
the street
possum.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the Parks and Rec town. They're just raccoons were attacking us.
Thanks for
Look-
dealing with the
look,
jazz
guys,
music
be
behind
sure-
us and
Yeah.
the construction out the window.
Hopefully, just one last thing. Hopefully, in the future, we'll be able to build our own studio and hopefully work with the community at large to play stories together. Again, if you don't mind the meme at this point.
I get
But
it.
I guess that's it. One giant leap. Last
don't
thing.
clap yet.
1, 2, 3.
Be sure to say who's your most favorite character. It's me. I know.